Starting with the Syrian crisis, a convoy of ambulances carrying the first group of wounded and other civilians began leaving eastern Aleppo on Thursday. Syrian TV showed live footage of a long convoy of ambulances and green buses driving out and crossing the Ramusa Bridge en route through government territory and into a rural, rebel-held part of Aleppo province. The Russian military said the government in Damascus had given security guarantees to all rebels willing to leave Aleppo and that the Russians were monitoring the situation using drones. In relation to the context, French President François Hollande accused Russia on Thursday of reneging on its pledges in Syria. Hollande said, "I have been talking constantly to Russia, and Russia makes commitments that is not keeping. Now it is time for us to conclude a ceasefire." He added that the regimes that support Syrian President Bashar al-Assad will have to take responsibility for this extremely serious situation. His comments came as he arrived in Brussels for a summit of European Union leaders. In Cairo, Egypt's official MENA news agency says a top militant who was convicted and sentenced to death for the killing of 25 policemen in 2013 has been executed. The agency said Adel Habbara's execution on Thursday came 5 days after his final appeal was rejected by the Cassation Court. Habbara was convicted for his role in the killing of the policemen in northern Sinai in August 2013, 2 months after the ouster of former President Mohamed Morsi. And going to Africa, a suicide car bomber detonated an explosives-laden vehicle near a restaurant in the Somali capital on Thursday, killing himself and injuring 3 others. A Somali police officer said the attacker detonated the massive bomb after his car overturned during a high-speed chase by police near the presidential palace in Mogadishu. Only the bomber died in the blast in the heavily guarded area. The attacker's exact target was not clear, but the officer said he believed the bomber was trying to ram his vehicle into a car carrying a senior police commander. On to Vietnamese-American relations. Vietnam's government says U.S. President-elect Donald Trump told Vietnam's Prime Minister in a telephone conversation that he hopes to promote relations with the communist country. The government said on Thursday President-elect Donald Trump spoke highly of Vietnam's recent achievements, the positive developments in bilateral relations, and asserted his wish to cooperate with Vietnam to accelerate the relations. In the conversation on Wednesday, the Prime Minister congratulated Trump on his election victory and stressed the importance of maintaining friendship and cooperation with the United States, according to what the government said. Moving on to our economic news, the dollar surged to near 14-year highs against the euro on Thursday after the Federal Reserve raised interest rates for the first time in a year. The U.S. currency has been rising across the board in the wake of the Fed's statement on Wednesday, which saw the central bank raise its main interest rate by a quarter percentage point to a range of 0.50% to 0.75%. The advance came after the Fed indicated 3 more rate hikes next year instead of 2. As a result, the euro fell to a low of $1.0395. Additionally, the lack of panic after the Federal Reserve raised interest rates was evident in stock markets. In Europe, Britain's FTSE 100 was up 0.1% at 6,952, while Germany's DAX rose 0.4% to 11,287. The CAC 40 in France was 0.6% higher at 4,799. US stocks were poised for modest declines at the open, with Dow futures and the broader S&P 500 futures down 0.1%. Moreover, Japan's Nikkei 225 index dipped and then recovered lost ground, gaining 0.1% to 19,273.79, while the Shanghai Composite Index fell 0.7% to 111.68. And finally, weather news. Dangerously cold temperatures grip the upper Midwest in advance of a storm that's expected to bring several inches of snow in coming days, while schools and officials in the Northeast braced for their own blast of wintry weather. A wind chill advisory enveloped North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin on Wednesday and stretched into parts of Indiana, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Those advisories remained in effect through Thursday morning and beyond. Moreover, the cold claimed at least one life. A 34-year-old woman died of hypothermia in Minnesota.